Alright, we have game number 2 starting up here between Rice University and Texas State University. Texas State did take game number 1, and game number 2 is going to be OpTiKCoyote playing for Texas State as the purple Zerg in the right hand side here of the map on Metalopolis, and Lark playing for Rice University on the left hand side of the map as the red Terran. Now, I've casted both these players a few times, Lark a few more times, so I'm pretty familiar with their playstyles. Lark does some crazy stuff sometimes. He likes the non-standard openings, so we'll have to see if he's going to do anything to entertain us. I saw him laddering just before this, actually, and I think he went a Reaper opening on a Zerg, actually, and dealt a little bit of damage, got some good scouting in, forced some drones, forced a drone pull, forced some lings, so we'll have to see what he's planning here on Metalopolis. And OpTiKCoyote, I did see him play and stomp quite a few people throughout the season. Really good Zerg player. We'll have to see if that is what's going to occur again. He just droned the extractor tricked another drone out. A little bit late on that Overlord, it looks like. And he is at 13 supply right now. Very nice. Building them drones. And over here on Lark's side of the map, finished up his supply depot. We'll be dropping his racks and just a few minerals. There we go. Racks going down. And we'll have to see if he's going to go for a Reaper opening, in which case he should be taking his gas very shortly, or if he's going to be going for a... Okay, he rallied that down there. That's a little bit of a late timing for an Overlord. The reason why that SCV went down there, you may be like, wait, what? So you generally send an SCV over to that area at about 110. If you're close by air, that's when the Overlord should be passing over it. That being said, sometimes they hover around over here waiting for drops, so if you rally it over here and it's chilling in the air right here, you'll see it. Most of the time they'll have moved it away by then if they don't want you to know that they're close by air. So, interesting choice there to rally that over there. Could have provided some information, didn't happen to this time. Just explaining the odd movement of an SCV in case you didn't know. And this is game number 2. CSL format is going to be 1v1, 1v1, 2v2. It's best of 5 format, so if a team sweeps all 3 first games, they win. If not, it goes into 2 more 1v1s. So we'll have to see. Right now, Texas State University, who is lower seeded coming out of pool play, is up 1 against Rice University. Rice University actually tied for first coming out of pool play with University of North Texas, who has a Grandmaster Terran and Bigsky, as well as a few other really highly ranked players. And then University of Houston, who has 2 Grandmaster players, a Zerg and a Protoss. Pretty big supply block by the Zerg. Yeah, that was quite a long time to be at 18 supply. The expansion is done. Queens are starting up. Still supply block. There we go. There comes the Overlord. And looks like Hellion, Reactor Hellion, pretty common opening here over on Lark space. But he's not dropping an expansion behind it. He is going for more gas. We'll have to see what he's going to be teching into after that. If he's going to follow it up with Banshees or really lay on the hurt that way, we'll actually have to see. And we have OpTiKCoyote tickling a Spinecrawler right now, which I'm not really sure. There's been absolutely no scouting by OpTiKCoyote, and he's just randomly dropping a Spinecrawler. Very interesting choice by him. Not really sure. I guess he just builds it into his normal build order to be super safe. A little risky though on Econ. But as a random player, I like his attitude. I like people being a little bit more defensive and being ready for that. And it does look like it's going to be a Cloaked Banshee follow-up. And these Hellions aren't going to get much done. They're going to walk over here, maybe deny the spread of the next Creep Tumor. Depends. Looks like it's going to be dropped before they get over there. Probably right here. Has that Creep Tumor selected? Okay, there it is. So yeah, that's going to be finished before these Hellions can get over here. These Lings see the Hellions. They know what's going on. And a Macro Hatch dropped right here for OpTiKCoyote. Really fast Macro Hatch. Backing the Spinecrawler up. Usually you'll see like a Roach Warren or an Evo Chamber making that wall in with your natural hatchery. But a Macro Hatch, interesting choice. That means it's probably going to be really high 2-base aggression. But we'll have to see. Now we have these Hellions moving across the field. Are more Queens in production? No more Queens in production, so he doesn't think there's going to be a Banshee follow-up to this. Good cancel on that by OpTiKCoyote. Precise timing. That would have actually gotten roasted. So now these Hellions are here. They're going to tickle these Queens, harass them a good amount. It's actually not walled in here in the back, so he can move around back here, and there are no links to surround him currently. Not that he really knows that, but he could actually be doing a lot of damage to the back of this mineral line for just a few Queen hits. That front Hellion needs to be micro to the back. Ooh, nice shot. 2 Zerglings going down. Zergling speed just now finishing. Situation becomes a lot more dangerous on creep over there, with possible surrounds actually being able to happen. Hellion over here is going to get tickled and maybe surrounded. Here come the Lings. Nope, he does back off. Good control there by Lark. He's now going to try and roast this Queen before it can get back to the safety of the Spinecrawler. Good shot with those Hellions, but one Hellion looks like it almost goes down. Will be focused. Nope, backs up. Queen almost dead. The other one is dead. Did get roasted. And lots of damage being done here by Lark. With one Queen down and another one so low, these Banshees are going to be really effective, especially because there are no more Queens being produced right now. And right now on the field there's only 2 Queens, which is not going to hold very well versus Cloak Banshees. Ooh, one Hellion does die. Queen picking it off there. Wow, that Queen just barely living. I think it would have committed just a little bit more. Hellion's getting partial surround. Good control there by Lark. Does pull him back. Getting good shots off. 4 Hellions still alive. And this Queen is now going to be in danger if he moves forward and picks it off. We have an Evo Chamber going down. It's going to be a little bit late for that Banshee arriving. Those 2 Banshees arriving. He did delay that for Cloak and the second Banshee. I think he's going to be doing a lot of damage with this here coming up in just a second. And that other Queen is down there on the low ground. It is very low. It's about 1 shot away. Spore Crawlers are going down in both mineral lines though. 1 Queen going down. Second Queen tickling these Banshees, which I think they should probably focus and pick it off. There it goes. Does go down. There's now no more injects. So Hellions are going to become increasingly effective if they're rallied across the field. Meanwhile, back home, it looks like he's building 4 Raxes to follow this up with Mass Marine. Good links round though on those Hellions. As he was controlling those Banshees, he did not have time to check that out. And he did take down the Spore Crawler in the natural. There is one up in the main right now. And there is an Overseer morphing in to detect. There's a Queen that's about to finish here at the natural. It needs to get worked on though by these Banshees. There it goes, tickling those away. Oh, Queen does die. And now moving over to the Spore Crawler again. There is a 2 rallied Hellions that do get surrounded and picked off by Lings, but they do kill 1 and get quite a few low. So there's more rallying across the map. Banshees uncloak. They're low on energy, so he just decides to uncloak both of them. Pretty much a drone shooting gallery here at the natural, as those drones were rallied and then, harvesting from the 3rd as they're clicked over there. Spore Crawler moving down. Will he focus it? Spinecrawler still being worked on. Spinecrawler does look like it's going to die. Now it makes Hellions much more effective, as well as the Marines that are coming up. Spore Crawler just out of range to work on these Banshees, and both of these hatcheries are now in danger. Spore Crawler moving around to get in a better position, making a wall, as these Banshees are going to back up though. And a massive amount of damage being done here by Lark. There's 2 Spore Crawlers actually going up in the natural, in the main. 1 in the natural, another Queen out on the field, 2 more Queens in production. So stabilizing a little bit, but this is a lot of Cloak Banshees. It needs to be very defensive and hugging these Spore Crawlers as much as possible. We might just need to sacrifice that macro hatchery. Good Cloak on the 1 low Banshee. Not overcommitting with this Cloak, which sounds weird, but he's really saving that energy, and that's a really good choice by him. He didn't just highlight all of his Banshees and press C. He actually selected the individual one that was lowest and cloaked it, and then backed off and uncloaked it. Very nicely done. Great control there by Lark. In the meantime, we look back over at his base. Like I said, he was building 4 racks. It looks like he moved the other one back and is now adding add-ons, getting stim. Combat shields look like they're done. +1 has not yet started. It doesn't look like there are upgrades on the way for him. No engineering bay. There are 2 medvacs. That's going to be a lot of healing for those Marines. They should be able to probably clear out this main. There's a Spire going down, and OpTiKCoyote trying to get back into this game. Massive amount of droning. Already back up to 49 harvesters. He hit a lot of those and moved them into the main, so that was a good save by him. But wow, you think he'd be much further behind, but that just really shows how great these players are. Even though it's collegiate and not pro level, these players are really quite good. That was really great damage dealt. Wow, a mule actually out in the middle of the field repairing that. That's a lot of resources being used on that repair. And here comes the Marine Banshee push coming up here in just a second. The Marines focus down the Queens, and the Spore Crawlers. The Banshees will just reign supreme, but we'll have to see. Where is that Overseer? Okay, it's just right there. It will be able to provide mobile detection there coming up. Big surround coming up on these Marines on the high ground. A little bit of a miss micro there. Oh, wow. Queens pick off the 1 medvac that was full, and the Queens are now retreating to a Spore Crawler, but one of them does get picked off. Banshees are now getting shot by that Spore Crawler. Needs to be really careful. All the Banshees now able to be detected. The Overseer moving up here. Looks like he's going to try and finish off that macro hatchery, which is going to die here in about 4 more shots. Queens are going to move over. These Banshees really need to back up. 1 Banshee does go down. A little bit of a miscontrol there. And there is... Okay, it's just a random Overseer on the other side of the map. We have 10 mutas about to come out on the field, which will really shut down all this Banshee play pretty much entirely. There's not really a way to be effective with Banshees once the mutas are on the field due to Overseers and the mutas moving faster. He's not going to move across the map. And does Lark have any turrets up in his mineral line? No, he does not. He does have an engineering bay, so if he scouts any of this coming, he should be able to throw that up. But third looks like it's about to come under attack from quite a few lings who are at 0-0 and a few mutas. Bunkers look like they're about to be placed. Microing back, very nice stutter step there by Lark, but he's running away from his medvacs and he gets surrounded away from them, and now looks like all these Marines are going to be going down. Big reinforcement of Marines coming up though. 2 Marines survive the fight and drive these Mutalisks back. Good focus though, picking off another SC. Whoa. Wow, okay, I was going to say good focus, but then those just uncommitted to it. Almost picking off 2 separate SCVs. Now turrets going around the mineral lines here at the 3rd, not yet in the natural or the main. Lots of Marines being rallied out. Of course, they do have stim, they do have combat shields. Siege tank, siege mode is done, they are rallying across. +1 just now starting over here on this side of the map. Infestation pit going down, and a Banshee dealing a lot of damage. Well, two drones actually, only had 2 kills on that before the Overseer gets over there and the Mutalisks pick it off. Pretty big flock of mutas though. He's up to 16 mutas with 1 more about to be produced, and now 17 Mutalisks. It's quite the flock of Mutalisks, especially off 2 base. Really great micro here out of OpTiKCoyote, despite being so far behind. With that great opening out of Lark dealing a lot of damage, he is coming back strong in this game. Macro hatch going down at his main and starting up his 3rd. He is behind in bases. Lark should be pulling further and further ahead just because of econ right now. Up 56 to 42 on the worker count. OpTiKCoyote has moved over here with all of his mutas. Don't think he's researching. Okay, yeah, he's not researching muta damage, so I'm not sure if he's going to keep expanding this flock. It is up to 20 right now. He may just be chilling with this number and getting banelings now, investing his gas into that. But I'm really not sure what his choice is going to be. Usually you see +1 damage started after about 10 mutas or so, because it just makes them exponentially better. The +1 is added to each one of those bounces too, so very, very good on Mutalisks with that plus damage. And we'll have to see a bunch of changelings being dropped here randomly by OpTiKCoyote. Not really sure what's going on there. And Zergling's just kind of having an exercise routine, it looks like, moving around the field. Not really sure what they're up to. Tank Marine line set up here at the 3rd. It's good position. Has a pretty good overlook here of the natural. With another siege tank, and the Marines are in good position to support. And it looks like Lark has decided it is time to move out. And that looks like it's going to coincide with +1 damage. So good timing there by Lark. Moving down across the field, looks like he's going to try and shut down the 3rd. There are quite a few mutas here. Oh, there's a random SCV there, I think. There are quite a few mutas here. Pathogen glands almost done. No infestors being produced, though. And only a few banelings without speed, though that is also will be finished in time. Ooh, burrow banelings here for OpTiKCoyote. And did the scan did catch some of those banelings burrowing, so Lark is going to be very careful moving up into this territory with all those Marines. And that is a massive ball of Marines. We'll have to see how his split goes, if any more banelings are being morphed in. Yeah, here they are, 15 banelings up on the top. So he needs to be really careful moving up that ramp and really ready to split his Marines as fast as possible. Good positioning of the Zerglings. Does get a scan, picks off a lot of banelings, some of them retreating up the hill though. Very nice job done there by Lark. 4 infestors on the way, and if he can just delay with those bird banglings like he just did up here at the top of the hill, good scan. If he can delay just a little bit longer, those infestors will be here to deal a lot of damage. But right now it looks like OpTiKCoyote is moving up. He needs to siege those tanks. Mass, Ling, and Banling moving in. Tanks are sieged up. Looks like he's going to be able to pick off this 3rd. And here comes the micro trainer practice of splitting Marines. It looks like he's just going to try and run away. And wow, big Banling hits on the front of those Marines. Almost all of the Marines dying to those Banlings, and Muta's cleaning up all the tanks. Big cleanup there by OpTiKCoyote. He did lose his 3rd though. So really Lark can afford to lose that, and I'm not sure OpTiKCoyote can. His flock was thinned down to 16 mutas. 2 more coming out on the field. Still no research going down on those though. 4 infestors on the ground. Burrowed Baneling here at this base. And oh, okay, a little bit too far away to get a Baneling explosion there. He's moving over to this side, which has a massive amount of creeps, right? He's going to have to really clear that out. Infestors moving up. Looks like they're going to get a big fungal on all those Marines. Will he follow it up with another fungal? No, those Marines getting... Wow, very nice pickup there. Nice job by Lark picking those up. It looks like these 2 siege tanks are just going to be abandoned and save the rest of the Marines. He has enough for 2 more fungals. Needs to be doing some good splitting here. And medvac that's full of Marines chilling. There it goes. Gets picked off by those medvacs. Good Good cleanup there by OpTiKCoyote. And we have Thors coming along with some medvacs. Ling's trying to chase down the rest of those Marines. And stabilizing just a little bit. Mew's out in the middle of the field, perusing around the map. Third being taken, almost done here by OpTiKCoyote here in the middle, as well as retaking his bottom original third. So he's going to be on 4 base here pretty soon. Finally getting ahead of the Terran on bases. Picking off a free slow overlord here at the bottom. There it goes, getting picked off. No tanks actually out on the field right now for him. Needs to be pretty careful. Did transition into Ghost immediately after seeing those infestors. So many Terran do not do that, and that's a really good call there by Lark. So he should be able to get a good EMP, hopefully, on those infestors. We'll have to see. Marines being loaded up. They need to be unloaded to keep these Thors alive. Here they go, dropping a few Marines at a time. Looks like the Mutas are going to magic box this, and the Thors are going to go down very quickly. Marines are totally surrounded. Really good cleanup there by OpTiKCoyote. That loading of the Marines is a little bit of a mistake by Lark. And that was a massive cleanup for him. Army supply just swung wildly in favor of OpTiKCoyote with that loss of forces out there in the middle. And now he can really lean on the third, which is not a planetary. So Lings will be really effective there. Just really needs to move into position. Here we go, more tanks out on the field. And we have quite a large contingent of ghosts. I think that's the most ghosts I've ever seen in response to 4 infestors ever. But more infestors are still being produced. It's now up to 7. Though he couldn't know that he was going to keep committing to that. But yeah, good call there by him. Snipe, of course, was pretty effective against Mutalisks as well. After you EMP the infestors, you could snipe at the Mutalisks. But with that damage being reduced so much versus anything but psionic, it's really not quite as good as it used to be. We'll have to see how he utilizes that ghost energy after the EMPs go off, or if he's just going to auto-attack with them. We'll have to see if he's even going to bother microing that, or he's going to be too busy with the tanks. Now taking a 5th base here in the south, OpTiKCoyote just keeping his expansion, keeping it going, really putting on the hurt, and really clawing his way back into this game. Though creep spread has pretty much halted. There's a burrowed Zergling here, and a burrowed Zergling here, running more expansions. But Lark looks like he just wanted to kind of mass up on his 3 base and go for another push, which he is now even in army supply, which is going to be, as long as he can get efficient exchanges, should be perfectly okay here. Siege tank setting up there in the back. He's going to start spreading out his siege tanks and probably sieging up here to get ready for this base. Massive infestors at the top of the hill. Big scan. Should be moving forward those ghosts. Needs to spread out those Marines a little bit more. I'm a little worried about that. And ghost out on the field. Though all of them are grouped up, which means they can be fungled, which has a longer range, I believe, than EMP. I think it has 9 with that. And EMP, I think, has, well, maybe it's the same. Maybe it's about 9. So we'll have to see. Mutos moving forward. Looks like they kind of want to snipe those ghosts. Being very careful. Big micro battle right now. Mutos stacking up. There are no Thors anymore, so okay to stack. Infestors moving up. Looks like they're going to be dropping fungals. Marines trying to run back. Another fungal going down. Big fungal. Lots of Marines being surrounded by all these Zerglings. And wow, giant cleanup there out of OpTiKCoyote. Great engagement. Look at all that Marine death. And now all these siege tanks are going to go down. Those Marines were a little bit out of position. Another base going down for OpTiKCoyote, but he has retaken his 3rd in the back, and he has a 4th that just came up again here in the south. So he's in a really good position. He had saved all those drones. So another big army cleanup by OpTiKCoyote. Very nicely done there by him. There are 34 Marines and 2 tanks on the field right now. These Mutalisks that have been around forever, not getting replenished or upgraded, are starting to thin out. They're down to 15, losing 2 or 3 in each engagement so far. And there's a massive Lings moving. It looks like they're going to be moving up towards this 4th that Lark wants to be taking. And those Lings are just going to back up. They are not going to be able to take on the Marines without all these infestors. And that ghost count was entirely cleaned up. There was no stealth, no cloak on those, so pretty interesting. More Thors being produced. 3 coming up. More ghosts. Plus 3 ground armor almost finished. So he is going to be at 3-3 as the Zerg player hits 1-2 actually. So really, really great on the upgrades. But infestors negate upgrades. They just deal their full damage no matter what, as it's a spell. So all these infestors are really still dangerous to all those Marines. We'll have to see how this engagement goes coming up here. The Zerg player, not quite max. He's at 156. And moving back over here. Both of these are Master League players, by the way. Not exactly what you would call the noobiest of players. It's not like it's diamonds or bronzies facing off against each other, though I realize that's a very large gap. No offense to Diamond, as I am also in it. And OpTiKCoyote moving across the middle of the map. Looks like he's trying to get control. This fourth did look like it's getting established over here. He needs to scan and land it. But SCV's harvesting long distance. Creep spread almost all the way to that fourth. Very nicely done there by OpTiKCoyote. And it looks like he's going to be going for another push. Getting Ultralisk armor, so Ultras might be starting up here soon for him. Ling, Infester, Ultra, pretty good composition. And Scan did go down, morphing into a planetary here. Siege tanks unsieging, that's a pretty dangerous position. Random amount of Marines moving across the middle of the field with Ghosts. And that command center almost burning down. Needs to be really careful here. OpTiKZero looks like he's going to be going in with a massive amount of Lings with no siege tanks. Marines are just going to get surrounded and slaughtered. Big force coming up from the back though. Siege tanks, Thors, Ghosts. EMPs going down on the back half of those infestors, but a lot of them still have energy, enough for a few more fungals, and the Marines are going to get cleaned up pretty well, and there's a massive amount of Lings right here. Wow, really just going to clean that up again. OpTiKCoyote clawed his way back into this game, and it looks like he is now set to take it. He has established his 5th base down here in the south, denying that 4th, and Lark says, GG, well played, as OpTiKCoyote takes this game away from Rice University, clawing his way back into it. OpTiKCoyote, very nicely done after that huge opening there out of Lark with great micro. So game number 2 also going to Texas State University. So they're now at 2-0 versus Rice University. So can Rice come back in game number 3, which is a 2v2? We'll have to see. It's coming up in just